Hi guys, welcome to another YouTube video. So in this video we are going to talk about the King's Indian defense. So let's get in. So King's Indian defense is played against d4. But actually white doesn't have to start off with d4. You can get pretty much the same setup, same position against knight f3, c4 as well. But the main move for white is d4 to be able to get King's Indian defense. But as I said, you can get pretty much similar stuff as well. So white plays d4, black plays knight to f6. So black is not going to play d5. Instead, he plays knight f6. So white plays c4, black plays pawn to g6. And now white wants to play e4. White wants to build up a nice pawn center. So he plays knight c3 and he prepares e4. So here actually I have already recorded one video about Grunfeld defense. So if black plays d5, that would be Grunfeld defense. So if you want to check out and if you want to learn about this defense, I would recommend you to watch my video. So but today we are going to focus on bishop g7. So that is the characteristic move of King's Indian defense. So with this move, black states that, okay, I am letting white to play e4, so white can go ahead and play e4, and I am okay to get this position. So white plays e4, pawn to e4, and black plays d6 in order to stop e5. So if white plays e5 here, guys, let me show you as well. You can just take this pawn, and after white takes, you can take the queen like that. And if this king takes, then you can play knight g4 and there is a fork. Yeah. Okay, and yeah. So e5 is not a great move for white. So usually white plays knight to f3 here, continues these developments by developing his minor pieces. So here we castle, and then white plays bishop e2. And then here we play pawn to e5. We strike the center. So we play e5. So here if white takes the pawn, then we take back. And then you may think like, okay, but isn't this a free pawn? But it is not actually. Because whenever white takes this pawn, we can play knight to e4. And after white takes, we can play bishop to e5. And then, we got back the piece. Yes. Yeah, actually we can also start off by trading two queens. That is also possible for black. And then we can apply the same thing. Doesn't matter that much. So we don't have to worry about losing this pawn. And if white pushes his pawn like that, then now this square, c5 square will be weaker because now this pawn no longer covers c5 square. So here we can aim for this square. We can try to put our knight to c5 square. So we can start off by playing a5 first to white from playing b4. And then we can play, later on we can play knight a6 and knight c5. Or we can also play knight d7, knight c5. And then now our knight is excellent on c5. We are having pressure on e4 and b4 is also not possible. b4 doesn't work for white because we can take it, and after he takes, this rook will be hanging in the corner. So okay, so this knight will be excellent on c5, and sometimes we can also go for a4 and we can try to get our knight to b3 square. This square is also a very nice square for our knight. This square is outpost square. Why? Because there is no way for white to cover this b3 square by using his pawns. His pawn is on c4 square here, and the other pawn on a file is on a3. So he cannot cover this square by using his pawns. Okay, and then here main move for white is castling. So if white castles, there are a couple of moves for black, but my favorite move here is knight to c6. So you play knight c6, we encourage white to play d5. And after white plays d5, so we go here. And then now, as you can see, we have a pawn chain here. And then we will be pushing the f pawn to f5 in the next turn. So here, let's say white plays b4. Let's say here white plays b4. To prepare c5, we can play knight h5, or we can also play knight e8. And then we will play f5. We will play pawn to f5. And then let's say white plays here c5. Then you can play f5. And then let's say he takes, we take. And then we can play like that. We can play f4, h6, g5, etc. And yeah, and let's say here white plays knight e7. There's another line for white. Then we can play knight to d7. And then we can go for f5, f4. So we can push these pawns on the king side like that. And then in one moment, we should definitely go for g4. So we can play knight to f6, and then we can go for g4. And look at these pawns. So if he takes, we will take like that, and then we will go for g3. And if he takes, we will take back with pawn. And then let's say something like that happens. Then now we can bring more pieces to this king side. So we can play knight h6 here. Or we can also play queen e8 and queen g6 here. That is also fine. There. And in some moments, let me show you one example of that. Let's say we go here, and then let's say white plays this move. We go here, he takes, we take, let's say he plays like that. In some cases, we can play knight g5, and then we can go for sacrifice this pawn. We can try to sacrifice or knight or bishop. Yes, and then we will be having a nice compensation. And then yeah, basically, we can play here. We can play knight f, sorry, not knight f2. We can play queen d7, and we can go for knight h4 like that. Then we are checking the king, and this king goes here, and then we can fork the king and the rook. So basically, guys, that is the main line. Sorry, not here, this one. That is the main line of the King's Indian defense. And then our first priority should be playing on the king side. So we should be getting this f5 in, and we should play f4 and then g5, g for example. So we should be extending on the king side. Like that. f5, f4, g5, h5. Yeah, we should be playing on the king side. Just extend your pawns as further as possible. Yeah, and then at some point you will be playing g3, and then you will be you'll be offering some pawn trades, and then this side will be opening up, and then you can attack the king. That is the main idea of the King's Indian defense. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching, and if you have any questions or if you have any suggestions, please let me know in the comment section. Thank you so much. I will see you in the next videos. Bye.